السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيد الأولين والآخرين وعلم السابقين وقائد الغر المحجلين وشفيع المذنبين وسيد ولد آدم أجمعين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله الغر الميامين وأصحابه نجوم الدين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وعنا معهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما وفقينا إذا علمتنا. قال سيد الإمام النووي رحمه الله تعالى ونفعنا الله به وبعلومه وبكم وسائر المسلمين أجمعين في كتابه المقاصد: وأصول ذلك كله خمسة: علو الهمة وحفظ الحرمة وحسن الخدمة ونفوذ العزيمة وتعظيم النعمة. فمن علت همته ارتفعت رتبته، ومن حفظ حرمة الله حفظ الله حرمته، ومن حسنت خدمته وجبت كرامته، ومن نفذت عزيمته دامت هدايته، ومن عظم النعمة شكرها، ومن شكرها استوجب المزيد. Not working. What is this? What's this?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The foundations of all of these consist of 5 things. 1. High aspiration. 2. Keeping Allah's reverence. 3. Giving the best of service. 4. Keeping one's spiritual resolve. And 5. Esteeming Allah's blessings. Whoever's aspiration is high, his rank rises. Whoever reveres Allah, Allah maintains his respect. Whoever's service is goodly is necessarily shown generosity. Whoever keeps his spiritual resolves continues to have guidance. Whoever esteems Allah's blessings will be grateful for them, and whoever is grateful for them will necessarily see them increased.
Here we speak about the fundamental or the basic matters, of what we have spoken yesterday, and he summarized them, in 5. First one, aspiration or motivation, I may call it, and this is it's needed, because personally, I think Muslims nowadays, they most of them, not all of them, they are quite familiar with all matters good for them and all matters harmful for them, but they are little bit down or lazy in driving, in showing the practice of it, And I was speaking yesterday, this is with someone, this is perhaps the main difference between the Sufi and the Faqih. Okay, Faqih is going to be quite knowledgeable. The Sufi is to apply this, to practice this in his life. And this is, when I compare ourselves, to the companion, I'm not telling this the only difference that we have, but this is one of the main difference that we have between us and the companion. The companion, whenever they hear any of these instruction or commands or whatever of that regard, they are going to take it for serious, for practice, for to apply on themselves. And that's why we have the very good example yesterday when we said about that Surah Al-Anbiya, when it was revealed, and how one of the companions, he said, we have a surah was revealed yesterday which make us awake all the night, and the first one was who was to apply this which is, to be honest with you, never come to my mind. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described His strength, His power, He said, قُلْ هُوَ الْقَادِرُ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَبْعَثَ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابًا مِّن فَوْقِكُمْ وَمِن تَحْتِ أَرْجُلِكُمْ وَيُلْبِسَكُمْ شِيَعًا وَيُذِيقَ بَعْضَكُمْ بَأْسَ بَعْضٍ. That Allah have the full capacity to send a punishment or torment on us, from above or from underneath, or to have us, mix with each other, work against each other, because of different sections, This is, as I said, I told at the beginning, never passed through my mind that it may be applied to us, But the Prophet ﷺ, right away, he was afraid that this may be applied to his nation, and he make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah save us from those torment or punishment come from above, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua. Then, oh Allah, save us of those torment or punishment come from underneath, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua. Then he asked for the third one, and in that maqam, or in that setting, his dua was not accepted. What I'm trying to say, whenever I would like, even though I may be deficient in some areas, whenever I read anything in the Holy Quran, firstly, or in the prophetic tradition, secondly, okay, I should take it seriously. I should apply it to our life. And one of the main factors to have this, to have this good inspiration or the motivation of it, anyone who get himself, busy in any other things, he'll not have the time, for it. That's why this has been also mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ when he told the companion, those who were in very harsh and difficult life. They don't have enough food, they don't have enough clothing, they don't have servants, they don't have anything of that type. What's about your people, if you have a dish come to you and get a dish going, which was almost impossible in this early life, and you have the Roman and the Persian people, they stand there as servants of yours, and you are going to hang clothes, like the curtain or other things, you may find in some areas, people they hang a carpet or whatever of that regard, and you hang these clothes, in your houses, the way the Kaaba, Holy Kaaba, has been covered. What did the companions say? They said, "Oh Rasulullah, we are going to be in these days, in those days that you are speaking about, better off than nowadays." And this is the reasonable analysis, of it, because anyone who is busy, in this hard life, to try to find something to eat, to try to find something to wear or whatever, he's going to be busy, when they are sufficient or available for him, he will have much more free time to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the motivation among them, the companion, it is available. I have no doubt about it. The Prophet ﷺ answer was, no, you are today better than that day. Okay? This is the reality of it. And they were surprised, they were shocked. Oh ya Rasulullah, هل يأتي الخير بالشر? Have you seen any good matters, or beneficial matters is going to lead to evil or disadvantages? The Prophet ﷺ said, لا يأتي الخير بالشر. You never find, anything which is khair, is going to show the negative or the evil matters, of that regard. ولكن من الربيع ما يقتل حبطا. He gave them this example, the Prophet ﷺ. You may not find it here, in this country, but in the desert it's quite obvious, Whenever you have rain, you are going to have the whole ground like green. Okay, and this green is going to be very important, for the camels, that they are going to eat many of those greens. Okay? And some of them may kill themselves, by this, by overeating. Okay? Here, this example, is it applicable to our life? Yes, it is too applicable. Why? Because we are busy. Okay? Some of us busy collecting money. Some of us busy for other things. The fun about it, in the early age, most of us, we are going to be busy in collecting money. Okay? In the latest age, we have enough money from one resource or another, but we'll get sick, we'll be busy, seeking medical advice, or treatment, okay? And we have it in this pattern, We are going to be deficient all the time, okay? And this is really, as a statement from the Prophet, for me it is a significant warning sign that you shouldn't get yourself busy much more than the needed thing, the necessity. I'm sorry to tell you, nowadays, even the people, not only in US, elsewhere, they have different look to necessity, to needs, okay? Our needs or our necessity, they are not equal to the need or necessity to the previous one, Now, if someone fired, of his job, you look at this as necessity, major point in his life, even though he did not suffer any short, in his eating or any short in anything else. And this, for sure, when he have confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will have them available. Whereas, that famous companion, when the Prophet ﷺ has a guest and he ask all the 9 houses that he used to have, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of them, they don't have food available for that particular person. And for sure, for the household, of these people, he asked any of the companion to take him home with him. And the one who took him home, does he have food? He has food, but not for himself, not for his wife, not for his children. The food is only enough for the for the guest. He did not say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to excuse me, I have some necessity, or you see the main difference between us and them, We try to give away, give up any of our obligation, any of our prohibited matters, on something that may affect me, after 2 years or 3 years. Whereas they were much more confident for the current time, Just imagine, I have children and I'm going to send them to bed, without food. And some of them, they cry. And I'm quite confident in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see the difference? Perhaps I'll not be able, to explain this position very well, but really this amazed me a lot, okay? And this motivation, we need it, and that's why it has been summarized, that the first main point, in your life is your religion. This is you have 5 items, they are highly needed in your life. Okay? When you miss one of them, it's looked at as necessity. When you are going to have some of them, but with hardship or difficulty, it looked at as a need. When you have trivial, difficulty or no difficulty at all, then we call it tahseen in Arabic, or some type of improvement, to improve your position. What are they? As I said, religion come at first. Secondly, your body, life, okay? Thirdly, your intellect. Fourth, your money. And fifth, your reputation, or the lineage. You see, these are the 5 main matters. Whenever you You are going to miss one of them. This is going to be considered necessity. I'm sorry to tell you, many of the questions that I receive nowadays, I don't feel that there is a necessity statement, or state for this question. Even though I'm not exaggerating, inshallah, people, they look at it as a necessity. As I said you, when anyone fired, of his job, mashallah, he's going to have a bank account, okay? He have a lot of friends. He has a lot of food, in his refrigerator. He has a good furniture, and he has good housing, okay? So what I'm going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to... So here we try to secure ourselves, for the future. That's why we have insurance company, that's we have other resources, that's you have retirement, and you name it, But again, as I said yesterday, we are going to secure them in the physical life way and forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the best security ever. What did he say subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. Okay? Yani, when you have a children and you have main concern, about them, rather than, commit a sin, or break some of those prohibited matters, you should have taqwa. And by this taqwa, you are going to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supporting you. I'm not here, to tell you about the stories. There are few stories. I'm not going to argue with you. We have, even in our time, we have few stories. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great, in responding to those who have this full confidence in them. I'm sorry to tell you, most of us, they are not as such, I'm going to give example of one of the stories. One of my friends, he came to me back in Syria. I need a house, and I need to borrow an interest, from a bank. I told him, no way, you are not going to have interest. Subhanallah, that person eventually, he bought a house. How, I don't know now, okay? He bought a house without interest, okay? And the problem back in Syria, you should pay the whole amount, not like this, like here, He bought a house. Here is not the point. The point that person, subhanallah, he passed away after 2 or 3 years of this. I keep asking myself this question. If that person passed away, he went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he has some interest. Okay, what position he is going to be at? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared war on those people. I don't think this is a good idea, to have anyone, move to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared war against him. And I am the happiest one in the world when I gave him this advice, because he passed away, after a few years. You see? This is, even if it did not happen to me or you, is it possible to happen? Yes, it is a possibility. Well, and when we malpractice as such, we said we have necessity all the time. For sure, the one who frequently malpractice as such, one time he is going to have it and pass away to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the frequency of it. You got my point? So here, I'm not telling you there's no necessity at all, according to Islam. What I'm trying to tell you, that we try to broaden this meaning of necessity, try to permit to ourselves, many of the prohibited matters that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it haram, okay? I'll give you another example, about the companion. Don't misunderstand me. A person, he had janaba, while they were after a battle, I think, he had a janaba. And he has very bad wound, in his head. He consulted with the companion or the colleague, in his battle, or whatever. They said, sorry, we don't, even though they were wrong, I'm not telling you the whole, all answer they were right, they were wrong. Okay, they said, sorry, we don't find any excuse for you, you should wash your head. What did that person do? Don't misunderstand me. What did that person do? Even though he's quite sure that he's going to die if he washes his head. He washed his head and he died. Yeah, the rest of story that the Prophet got angry with them, and the one who doesn't know should ask the one who knows, or whatever. But what I'm trying to clarify for myself and for the other, how that person, to do some obligation instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how he did it, and he is quite sure that he's going to die after it. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it a possibility for everyone. وَلَوْ أَنَّا كَتَبْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَنْ يَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ أَوْ يَخْرُجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِكُمْ. Okay? Is it possible? It is possible. Happened to some nations, before us. We read it in Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was too merciful, He did not ask us, to kill ourselves. He did not ask us, to get out of our house. He asked the companion to get out of their houses, not us. Okay? But here, the answer of it make me feel ashamed, about it. ما فعلوه إلا قليل منهم. Not us. I have a black, view, about ourselves, Perhaps among us, none is going to practice it, But this, among those great people, just few of them, they are going to do it. It is a possibility. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed the possibility there and showed the reality of it, when it's commanded that they are quite few those who are going to commit it. I don't ask you to kill yourself. I don't ask you to have those heroic or those extraordinary measurement. But please, 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 don't don't abuse the meaning of necessity. When you look at your time, for sure, everyone, not only here in US, in the whole world, they, as I said yesterday, because of massive opening, they upgraded their necessity much more, okay? And we have put as stations there that I cannot live without them. All these stations, I'm sorry to tell you, they are going to be destroyed eventually. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ, what does it mean? I never experienced this. When someone has earthquake, what is going to do? It's going to hold the floor or the ground, okay? It's going to... Okay, well, in the hereafter, the description of Allah, the time is jeopardized, the place is jeopardized, the sun is jeopardized, everything is jeopardized. All of those stations that we do, I'm in my mind, I cannot imagine anything, without time or place. And the time and place, they are going to be gone away. And we are going to experience this. Do you think those who never have any experience before, they are going to be similar to those who at least, they try to train themselves, try to build their confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No way. No way they are going to be the same. You see, this, even though they may go to heaven, yani these people, but they are going to be terrified, they are going to be horrified, they are going to have experience all of those unpleasant, positions, and situation before reaching their destination. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described these events, in one verse, al-faza' al-akbar. The most terrifying or horrifying, the biggest terrifying, event, or day. Okay? And as a Muslim, we should be familiar with these matters, We should have some insurance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the greatness of Allah subhanahu. Anyone besides Allah subhanahu is going to warn you, say, listen, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to hurt you. Okay. Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever He warns us, there's some warning, verses in the Holy Quran. But whenever you have this warning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's going to be accompanied in the same area, or by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by the solution of it. Okay, you are going to find a solution. Yeah, those greatest event, horrifying or terrifying matters, all of them, they have an answer for them. And as I said yesterday, everything has a substitute except when you leave Allah. And for sure, we don't touch Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala physically. How we are going to leave Allah? We leave Allah by leaving His commands, by leaving His obligation, by breaking His prohibited matters. As summarized, really this great summary, by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inna Allah, I'm going to recite it in Arabic, I try to translate. Inna Allah farada fara'ida fala tudayyuha. وحد حدودا فلا تعتدوها وحرم أشياء فلا تنتهكوها وسكت عن أشياء رحمة لكم غير نسآن فلا تسألوا عنها. You see, he summarized the whole relation between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in 4 categories. What are they? First, you have the obligation, don't waste them. Then you have hudud, borders or some limits, or definition or whatever. Okay, don't penetrate, don't go beyond them. Okay, then you have prohibited matter, haram. Okay, don't waste them again, don't practice them. Then you have the 4th item, which is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not mention or kept silent about certain issue. Don't ask about it. I'm sorry to tell you, people, they tend to ask about all of these matters that are not mentioned, all of those trivial matters, and they forget the great matters that has been mentioned by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, namely fara'id, muharramat and hudud. So here he related, Sayyidina Imam An-Nawawi, that ulul himma, when you have this motivation, you are going to upgrade yourself. Okay, you are going to be higher in this life and in the hereafter. Okay? As I said, the way you look at this life, the way you look at the ranks in this life, they are going to be much more pronounced in the hereafter. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ أَكْبَرُ دَرَجَاتٍ وَأَكْبَرُ تَفْضِيلٍ. The hereafter is much more higher or bigger, in their ranks, and their preference. Okay? You see, the Prophet ﷺ did describe here in this life a person equal to 1,000 persons. In the hereafter, inshallah, we observe Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq is going to be put, in that scale, against the whole nation, and is going to be heavier. He was not that heavy, he was not obese, he was not, okay, but he's going to be, why? Physically, it doesn't look like, okay? What's the point here? The point, spiritually, by his heart, by his relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is much more heavier than the whole nation. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ did say, ما سبقكم أبو بكر بصلاة ولا صيام ولكن سبقكم بسر وقر في صدره. What is the sir, the secret? The secret I translate it as hotline between any creation, any humankind, even the non-Muslim. There's a hotline between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the non-believer is under certain darura, beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to answer him. When a Muslim is in the same position, he put in mind, so and so is coming, or I'm going, my call so and so, or whatever, Allah may, yes, may not, and may help him, may not help him. You see, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he's preferred over all of us by this sir, by this hotline between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Yeah. After that, the last point I would like to say about this sentence, what is it? This is to, as I said yesterday, we mentioned yesterday, ثلاث منجيات. القصد في الفقر والغنى والعدل في الغضب والرضا وخشية الله في السر والعلانية, which means that to be fair, or just, whenever you are angry or happy, and to be moderate, whenever you are too rich or too poor, and to be fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you are in a public state or in something limited, or privacy. Okay, these are three. The Prophet ﷺ did mention other three, ثلاث درجات. They are ranks. You are going to upgrade your ranks, What are the ranks? The ranks described by the Prophet ﷺ, without mentioning those ghuraf that we mentioned yesterday, as between one and another, like the distance, between heaven and earth. And they are 100. They are 100 rank. How I'm going to upgrade my rank? The Prophet ﷺ summarized, إطعام الطعام, to feed people. Here, the way I understand it, not necessarily the poor, but for sure the poor, they have much more priority here. وإفشاء السلام, to say assalamu alaikum, okay? وَالصَّلَاةُ بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ, when you have night prayer. These are going to upgrade your level, Besides them, there's another hadith, I don't know how strong is it, that heaven, their grades or their ranks is going to be according to the verses of the Holy Quran. Whatever you memorize, you are going to be upgraded. Do they contradict? Because this, means 6,236, according to the number of our verses. That one means 100. No. One scholar, he did say, in each one of those 100 rank, you have the subdivision, of the subdivision rank, of 6,236. In another way, we are limited, we are going to work hard. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us to upgrade ourselves, But the way you memorize, or the amount you memorize of Holy Quran, you are going to upgrade yourself in the same rank. You are in the same rank, but is going to have much more higher level, Okay? So here, we need the motivation. We need this motivation, firstly, to be good Muslim practitioner and be aware, about the necessity that how we abuse it, Even, I'm sorry to tell you, when you have some shuyukh, when they give fatwa, I may disagree with this fatwa, about certain things that it's permitted for necessity. To be honest with you, I have met with many people, when they'll say, that sheikh permitted it. They will not say out of necessity. You got this point? Okay? Yeah, we try to take whatever we like, okay, regardless We don't care about Allah. We don't care about something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it haram. We care about ourselves. We care about being, better off. Okay? And we are going, you see? I had to give this example, but this example, when someone, his child is sick, and 20 or 25 physicians, they told him he needs surgery. And a physician told him, no need for surgery, I'm going to treat him, but you should wait for 6 months. What is going to do? Let's be honest with each other. Is he going to listen to that physician, or he's going to listen to the 25 physician who said he needs surgery? I think the answer is going to be, by most of you, that is going to listen to these 25. Okay. Why? I keep asking myself, why? When you have this amount, of the shuyukh tell you this is haram, and when a person, not you, when a person will tell you this is halal, you say, this is great man, this great sheikh, I'm going to go by his fatwa or whatever, and you ignore the 25 who did say that is haram. Okay, here's something wrong. Here's something wrong. That means I care about my physical matters, much more than the spiritual matter. I care about my body much more than my religion. As I said by Imam Shatibi, you should have by the priority your religion, at the top, then come your body. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm keep criticizing, mentioning you, but all of these I look at them as diseases in our communities as Muslims, and this is perhaps part of our problem. And I'm not telling you that I have solution to all of these matters, but I ask everyone, think about it, and for yourself, because all of us, without exception, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call one of you, He's not going to call all of your community, come and stand here. You are going to be reckoned alone. And that's why you should find your way. You should find an answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should find a solution. Don't say, everyone do this. Okay, even if everyone do this, you are going to be reckoned alone, You don't have and this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. ما من أحد إلا سيكلمه الله ليس بينه وبينه ترجمان فينظر أيمن منه فلا يرى إلا ما قدم وينظر أشأم منه فلا يرى إلا ما قدم وينظر تلقاء وجهه فلا يرى إلا النار. Just imagine this position. You see how great is the Prophet when he gave you this advice by this description. He said, all of you without exception, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to speak with him. Ya aini. Very nice. I love it. Without translator, okay? Why without translator? I may understand it, nowadays. If you have some Chinese person, angry with you, and he's going to be mad at you and shout and do it, and there's a translator to all of those matters, of the temper and bad word, they are going to ease up, by a translator. So here, the Prophet ﷺ did say, you don't have translator, between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then, what we are going to face? I'm sorry to tell you, we are limited to this life. We are, this life, it's our asset. It's our money, our richness, because according to our position in this life, we are going to be judged, the hereafter. We are going to see, I'm going to look right, whatever I have done good. Look left, whatever I have done not good. Okay, I am as if I am surrounded, by them. I have been decided, by them. Okay, then the worst thing, what in front of you, hellfire. So this is the way I would like from myself and from the other. Whenever you have any decision related to your religion firstly, or in general, related to your life, this boy, I'm going to send him to learn English much better. Okay? You are lucky here, you know how to speak English, you know. Most countries, you know, they consider English language as the top, you know, or whatever, you know. So, am I going to send my boy to learn English or to learn Quran? Okay? When you have problem, you know, in taking such a decision, okay, just imagine yourself in the position that was described by the Prophet ﷺ. You are in the hereafter. There is no translator between you and Allah, and you have pile of deeds here and pile of deeds here. I don't know how large is this one and how large is that one, and you are facing the hellfire. See, and this for me, as understanding, perhaps not as experience, you know, is very good way, you know, of making you, helping you to take the right, the accurate decision, you know. All of us, as mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ, all of us, we are going to have in our road, this life like a road, you know, or way. In our road, we are going to have bifurcation, okay? Or it's going to be splitted, you know, two roads. And all of us, you know, we should have the decision, am I going to go right or left? I think the one who put in his mind or in his feeling all the time, you know, what the Prophet ﷺ described, he will not be misled. He's going to have the right decision where to go, right or left, you know. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. كل الناس يغدو فبائع نفسه فمعتقها أو موبقها. All human, they are going to experience the morning. We experienced the morning this morning, alhamdulillah, okay? And when you decide that I'm going to be according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instruction, I'm going to be Muslim, I'm going to build my relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this, هذا معتقها, he freed himself from hellfire. The other one, he may be much better than you in knowledge, much better than you in money, much better than you in practice as practitioner. He had prayed a lot, you know, he had fasted a lot, and you name it. And he has a bad decision, you know, this morning, and he's going to destroy everything was done and take himself, you know, to hellfire. And that's, if it's applicable for all time and all places, the Prophet warned us, you know, about it, you know, in our time. He described about our time that the person is going to be believer in the morning, non-believer in the evening. Or believer in the evening, non-believer in the morning. Why? Because he sold his religion by a cheap price of this life. Do you see it applicable? I do see it applicable to our time. That's why I brought it, you know, just to warn myself and warn the other, be careful, you know, about it. Then, you have حفظ الحرمة. This firstly mentions the Quran. وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُرُونِ. When you highly respect, magnify the importance of these sha'airullah, anything related to Allah. When Sayyidina Salih, he brought the camel, what did he tell his people? Naqat Allahi. You should have very high respect of those sacred matters. Sha'airullah. Okay? Signals, it tells about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm speaking about the general people. We don't see Allah. We don't get in touch with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't have any direct relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created these sha'air to have them, magnified and highly respected, in your life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you. There is a stone here, you make sujood. Namely, it's Kaaba, okay? This sha'airullah. You have another stone there, you stone it, What's the difference between this? Physically, no difference. Spiritually, there is a significant, massive difference, between this stone that you prostrate toward it, and the other stone that you stoned it, and try to, show your enmity, to it. Do you have these sha'airullah? Yes. We have some of them, they are in special places. Others, they are available all the place. And the most important one of them, your religion. As I said yesterday, perhaps I did not say it yesterday, okay? Please, as Muslim, don't look to the others. Why? Most of the others, they consider their religion as number 10, in their priorities. As a Muslim, I should look at my religion as number 1. So I cannot give away, okay? So, and this starts by having fun, by criticizing, by saying something, Nowadays, because we have those satellites, and other ways, of communication, you are going to observe sometimes something harmful to you. I'm not speaking about the bad movies, or bad pictures. No, I'm speaking about when you have a discussion, about Quran, let's say, between an atheist, and believer. That person who create this setting, he has the full choice. He may bring very strong person, in atheism, and he may bring very weak person, in Islam. I'm sorry to tell you, this is going to give wrong message to everyone. No, let's assume he brought very strong person as Muslim and very weak one as atheist. Out of your experience, I don't know about the people here. I know about people in my country, If I was raised up, in Muslim environment, everyone highly respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, highly respect Quran al-Kareem or whatever. What you are going to experience in such a program that you have it, in the satellite or the TV, you are going to hear the criticism of the Quran. You are going to hear the negative in their view, which all of it's completely wrong. You are going to hear the negative points against Quran. Some of us, they may say, it's not going to affect me at all. Be sure it's going to affect you. You are going to, in Arabic we call it kalam. The talk, we call it kalam. What's the meaning of kalam? When you put the knife like this, kalamahu. What's the meaning of kalamahu? He creates a laceration for him. He calls it a laceration. This kalam, when you hear it, even though we are not going to, inshallah, to become kafir or whatever, it's going to have its trace, or its laceration, on your heart. That's why the response is going to be massively different. When you hear this statement, for number 10 time, for a person like me, perhaps some people, it's not going to be as same as when I heard it for the first time. This criticism of the Quran, of Sayyidina Muhammad, of Islam, or this, when I hear it for number 10, it's not going to be the same like when I hear it for the first time. I feel myself obliged to tell you about this fact, even though some of your people may not be happy, with it. The Prophet ﷺ did say, من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. That means you are going to change it by hand. If it's impossible, by tongue. If it's impossible, by what? By heart. And there's one narration, ليس وراء ذلك من الإيمان حبة خردل. There's nothing left of your belief, after it. I experienced it when I used to live here in US. When you see some of those women, naked, or without the Islamic way, or you are, a'udhu billah, then what's going to happen? I'm going to be honest with you. I look at it as normal thing, It did not, and this was a warning sign for me. That means even my heart, is not going to oppose or to object this matter, That means I'm not left without anything of my iman. You see? So here, don't at all get this habit, or consider it as normal, or nature or whatever. Always have something in your heart against it. This is wrong. This shouldn't be practiced. This shouldn't be done. See, out of our nature, I'm sorry to tell you, most of us, we are going to feel relaxed. We are going to take it easy. We are not going to have the same response that we have to it, when we have it for the first time, which is not, shouldn't happen. Okay. So all of these matter, they are included with what Imam An-Nawawi mentioned at حفظ الحرمة. Okay, in Islam, as in any other thing, some people, they may think that this is only for Islam. No. Here in US, if you break the rules, what they are going to do is, they are going to imprison you, or make you pay a fine. Or when I don't know if it's still applicable, when I was here in US, in some states, that's what I heard, in the TV. I don't know if it's accurate. Some states, when a child killed a person, they'll keep him till he is 18-year-old and they'll kill him. I don't know if this rule has been changed or not. This is not on all states, some states. So what I'm trying to say, all nations, all religions, everyone, they have something built, Whenever you try to penetrate or try to bypass or abuse, if they have the ability, they are going to punish you. Even ourselves, as humankind. If you ask me some question, I tell you, this is not your business. What does it mean? It means that you have penetrated, what I have built, for myself, If you ask our brother, he may not feel, this bad, But because I built this, I'm going to feel it bad, really bad, okay? So here, what I'm trying to say, حفظ الحرمة, each individual has it. All communities, they have it. All governments, they have it, But as a Muslim, what they are going to trying to do with us, they try to show the ugliness, of Islam, in these punishments, When all of them, they do it. You got my point? Okay. So here, what the response? So here, because we feel ourselves that we are free, we are in free world. I'm sorry to tell you, even some Muslims, say they may feel themselves, free, that they are not going to respect. The Prophet ﷺ highlighted that we should respect the elderly, we should respect the scholars, we should respect this, we should respect that. They, out of their freedom, or being so and so, or having this high level, or having money, I'm not going to respect. These are sha'airullah. I'm not the one who decided, about them. The elderly, Perhaps in my mind I have nothing, to respect the elderly. But when I'm instructed to do so, from the Prophet, I have no choice. As a Muslim, I should respect them, regardless. Okay? And you name it. So that's why, again here I see it's a problem. Okay? I'm sorry to tell you what I experienced from the previous generation. They used to be much more respectful for these matters than our generation. If you permit me to say, okay, even in US, the people, they are not that respectful, to these matters. That's why, what I'm trying to tell you, anyone find this, in himself, please try to correct yourself. When you don't find it, say, Alhamdulillah, I don't have it. Okay? But don't take it as bad comment, a bad statement, given to you. Okay? When you find in yourself, that you don't have this hifz al-hurma that mentioned by Imam Nawawi, be sure that you are wrong. Try to correct yourself. Try to have some adab. Okay? Try to have some respect. When you don't have it and you are in full adab, say Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not affect me, with these negative matters which affecting the other. There's a famous student, of Imam Malik called Ibn al-Qasim. He joined him for 18 years. He said, I learned adab for 15 years and ilm for 3 years. Now, this after the death of Imam, now I hope that the whole 18 years they were adab. Okay? The most important thing, we need this adab toward Allah. We need this adab toward Quran. We need this adab toward religion. We need this adab toward the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then we have some figures, in this life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes them high for us, and we should put ourselves down. I spoke yesterday about the parents, today about the elderly, and you may have someone else. Okay? All of these matters, all of us, without exception, we are tested, by them. Okay? So, what's the response of it? When you make hafz al-hurma, hafiz Allahu hurmatah. I'm sorry to tell you, this is my look, I may be completely wrong, okay? Here, I have heard about very rich person or very high figure. When he got old, or have some Alzheimer, he's going to be shipped to the nursing home. No hafz hurma. Such a person, elsewhere, is going to be the head, the top of his family. Respected by all children, grandchildren, and you name them. You got this point? Here, all of us, without exception, we are exposed to be changed. If I have money, to have the money gone. If I'm good speaker, not to give any good talk. If I have good intellect, to be taken away. Okay? And this is eventually is going to happen. Now, I hate to speak about myself, but I used to have very strong, sight. Nowadays I use eyeglasses. What is this? This means that all of these strengths, given to me from Allah, and Allah has the full capacity to take them whenever He wants. Okay? And when it happened, I'm speaking about myself. I'm not speaking about the others. I hate to have myself, just shipped and be thrown away, and I don't see my children, I don't see my family, just I have, with full respect, I have a nurse, is going to feed me, it's going to take me to bathroom, This is not the thing that I would like or look forward to. You see? And this is, I look at it, as what? Insurance. Like I said, rather than, be interested, in those legal or illegal insurance, be interested. من حفظ حرمة الله حفظ الله حرمته. Okay, either we are going to die in young age, we'll be saved, all of these matters, or we'll get old. When we get old, what did the Prophet ﷺ say? You see, you have this great wisdom, in his wording. اللهم اجعل أوسع رزقي علي عند انقطاع عمري وكبر سني. You got this point? Oh Allah, make the most of my wealth when I get old or about to die. What is this? Yeah, the Prophet ﷺ has the concern about money. No, he has the concern about money for us, because we have this main concern, You see, I have faced this, not on myself, I did see it on the others, You have very rich person, he has, and he just prepared some money for his retirement. One friend told me about it, and you have his son, is going to spend all of his money. Yalla ruh. Take away all of his money, okay? You have other person, most of the people, they are hired, they are employee, and the retirement is not going to be enough for them, And if there's some supervision on them, or they love some of their children, or they have sick person, sick child, and their family, or he had cancer, it's going to pay everything that has been collected. Yani, we try to fool ourselves. We think that those matters, they are going to protect us, Our community, when they smile to us, the money that we have in the account, our children or whatever. And all of these items, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not secure you, they are going to waste you. What is going to keep you up? When you make hafiz hurma of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is greater than having a good practitioner who make hafiz hurma, and he's going to waste him subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, you got this point? So I think it's too important, too needed. You know why? Because we say nowadays that we are advanced in medicine, which made people, live longer life. Okay, but by living this longer life, they are going to experience all of those matters, either to be governed, by someone, by a young person, be dictating on him, or losing his money, or losing his education, or the one who is experienced in computer sciences, is going to be outdated, because he became too old, and you name it. ومن حسنت خدمته وجبت كرامته. I'm going to be fair, okay? Here in this, I admire some actions, in this country, in this environment. Once I used to be resident, in one hospital, and they brought to us not very old man who's very unique, in his specialty. And they brought a patient, to be shown by this person. I admire this, when that person was about to go, the one who rushed, to put the slippers for that person was the professor. Perhaps you don't have this attitude a lot, Some people, they may have it, Others, they may not have it, In our country, it's more pronounced, okay? I'm Shaykh, that means I should be respected, by everyone. I'm so and so on, you see? I'm going to mention the negative and positive of it. So the one who makes khidmah to the other. But here, this is the physical, apparent, practice. You have besides it, And I hate to praise anyone, but I think Brother Amin, in such a community, he served this community a lot. They have a lot of needs, They still have a lot of needs, you know. He may not be able, you know, to cover or all of these matters, you know, but he have been good servant, you know, to his community. Okay? In some occasions, that, like the example that I brought, you know, about that professor, I may feel myself that I put myself down. This is perhaps not here in this country, you know, but elsewhere, this is considered as putting himself down when he introduced the slippers, you know, to that one. Okay? This is against what in my mind. This is maybe strange. The whole issue, you know, may be strange for you people because you don't have it a lot, you know. I haven't seen it, you know. You may be much more familiar with it, you know, in your community, you know. I haven't seen it a lot here. The Prophet ﷺ swore by Allah, the one who put himself down for the sake of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put him up. Okay? The main point here, you should be in service. I'm telling you, such a community like your community, and generally speaking, the Muslim in general, they need a lot of service. Okay? Once I was in South Africa, they introduced to me a person, you know, 28-year-old. This is Mufti. And they asked me to speak, you know. I told them, you know, in old days, they used to respect Shuyukh a lot, you know, and highly respect Mufti and Sheikh and whatever. Nowadays, we are in the need of the people. We should run after them, you know. We should bring them, you know. Why? Because we have significant treasure in our hand, namely the Holy Quran and the prophetic tradition. When you see most of the Muslims, they turn their back, you know, to this, you know, and they don't apply, and they have miserable life. My task, when I have this education or the other one, to run after these people, you know, and tell them, you know, about the treasure. You got my point? So here, as I said, in such community, or generally speaking about Muslim, you are in real need, you know, of service. And all of your people, the best position for you to be servant, to serve the others. Okay. What did Imam Nawawi say? Even though it was translated generous or whatever, karama, yani from generosity or whatever, you know, I disagree. No. This is honor. The one who put himself down, you know, to serve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala field, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to honor him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to do what? To honor him. Give him the honor. Okay, that's why if you want to change, you know, or put it next to generosity, you know, in English text, you know, put honor. Okay, and this is where is it mentioned? It's mentioned in the Quran al-Kareem. وَيُدْخِلْهُمْ مُدْخَلًا كَرِيمًا. Honored entrance. You are going to find it, you know. If you did not find it in the life, my expectation, most of us is going to find it in this life. If you did not find it in this life, from the beginning, you know, from the entrance to heaven, you have the honored position. Really, I love this way that Imam Nawawi put it, you know, whenever you do this, this is going to happen to you. You see, I love it, you know, a lot, you know. And those not for everyone. This is for the people who are interested, care about themselves. They want to be better off, you know. There are some people, you know, like Rabi al-Adawiyya, just she loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is going to do whatever, you know, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not waiting for those results, you know. So, again, in my view, you may differ with me, I look at such a look, of just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as much higher than having, but we are you see, Islam, generally speaking, is practical. It's not only ideal, it's ideal and practical at the same time, And this practicality, attract me a lot, And we need this attraction here, because most of people, this is the way they look at their Islam. If I did this, what's going to happen to me? You see? You remind me, we have much older than me, a doctor, we were in one hospital, many years ago. Subhanallah, I cannot change him, He'll say, if I recite Yasin, what reward I'm going to take? As if he has a list, or bill between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is his nature. This is his level. He cannot change. I was quite convinced that he will not be able to change. But I advise each one, even if he's from that nature, highly respect. Don't deny. We have, I'm sorry to tell you, we have some Muslims, they deny that there is someone, just for the sake of Allah, for the love of Allah. Whatever you are say, I'm sorry, I am in this level, but I know, I believe that there's people, of higher level. Have you heard about them? Yes. For sure, I believe what was mentioned about Rabi al-Adawiyah. If you don't believe, okay. You have the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Was he told, لِيَغْفِرَ لَكَ اللَّهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ? What's the meaning of it? It means that any action done by him sallallahu alaihi wasallam after this revelation, he did not do it to achieve heaven or to be protected of hellfire, because he was guaranteed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's, as some ahadith, he is the only person guaranteed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have such. Okay. Some may say, this prophet, we are not prophets. Okay. Have you heard about Ashara al-Mubashirin bil-Jannah? What are they? Again, they hear the Prophet, the most truthful one, telling them, you are the people of heaven. Have you heard that any of them, cut down in his duty or in his action, about after it? No. Some may say there are only 10. Okay, no, I'll tell you, no, my friend. We read in Sahih Muslim, the people of Badr and the people of Hudaybiyah, who are 1,400 or more. Okay? What I'm trying to say, they are quite few, but according to your religion, in your Quran and in your prophetic tradition, you have examples of these people. I'm not telling anyone, to get out of his skin, and be as such. This is maybe possible, maybe impossible. Okay? But whatever you feel, whatever you taste, please don't deny such a position. Okay? This is the benefit I'm going to get, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when I believe in Ashara Mubashara, this is the benefit. I'm not one of these Ashara, I'm not one of Ahl Badr. What benefit? I have benefit. What benefit? That there is certain rank, certain level given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to some people. To best of my knowledge, these people did not cut down, in any of their activity when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted them with such a thing. I would rather say that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that, what he kept night prayer till his holy foot became swollen. If you want me to have a break now, I'll have break. I prefer to have it the way done yesterday, okay? To go till 3, have break, okay? Then have another session. If you get bored, stop here. Because I enjoy my time speaking. Perhaps the audience will not be as such. If you want to have break, so shall we put it to voting? If the majority they want break, raise your hand up. If you want to carry on, we'll carry on till 3 because I would like to finish this paragraph. Or we'll take break after finishing this paragraph. You may finish before 3 or after. I'm sorry if you have some certain regulation, we'll go by your regulation. Okay. So the third, the number 4, I think. Number 3. ومن نفذت عزيمته دامت هدايته. What is azima? All of us, we may sometimes do an action all of a sudden. Like now when I spoke about the break, I don't have any intention or any driven matter, to speak about, in my, okay. But in general speaking, now I'm going to give you this example. For my prayer, do I believe in it? Yes, I believe in it. Do I have intention to do it? Yes, I have intention, inshallah, to do it. Okay. Then, when the time is on, for Zuhr prayer, what I'm going about to stand up and go there. Or if I need wudu to make wudu. This is called what is called azima. Okay? The azima is the exact time before starting. The prayer is going to start when I say Allahu Akbar. Those circumstances, position, condition that prepared right before, I'm not going now to prepare myself, for the Zuhr time of tomorrow. Right? But anyone who did not pray Zuhr, he should now find a way, to prepare himself. And this is called what? Called azima. Why it's important, in the Muslim life? In Muslim life, you have 5 items. The first one called hajis. What is hajis? When you have an idea, just pass through and go. This is called hajis. Then the second step is called khatir. What I mean of khatir? When you have it, come again, not just pass through. Then you have hadith al-nafs. What's the hadith al-nafs? When you have this, keep coming. Okay? Keep coming. I'm too hungry, I want to eat. He's not going to forget this, He's going to have it in mind all the time, till he is fed. Okay? Then after hadith al-nafs, you have the 4th rank called hamma. Okay? Ham, when you are quite determined to do it. I may speak with myself, about some sinful action, about some good action. I may do them, I may not do them. When I am determined to do them, this is called what? Ham. Then you have azm, when you start the factors. Why they are too important? Because the Prophet ﷺ, according to Arba'in An-Nawawiyya, I think this is, even in Muslim, we read it in Sahih Muslim, for the sake of the Prophet ﷺ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave us of the 3 first items for good and bad, and for the 4th item for the bad one. What do I mean? من هم بحسنة فلم يعملها كتبت له حسنة كاملة. Okay? when you are determined now, if Ramadan coming, I'm going to fast during Ramadan, even if that person, he passed away before Ramadan, I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward him, because he has this determination. Okay. Then, when Ramadan come, you are going to prepare the suhoor for yourself. This is azima. You haven't started the day, but this is called azima. Okay. So here, for number 3, all of these matters has been forgiven. The companion, they did complain to the Prophet ﷺ. They said, sometimes we have bad ideas or bad thoughts. We hate to speak about them. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have experienced this. This is sarihul iman. This is the pure faith. The scholars, they said, why it's the pure faith? It's not the pure faith because they are bad thoughts. But this is a signal of the pure faith. Why? Because the shaitan is smart. When you have a person with strong iman, he tries to jeopardize this, by these bad thoughts, by those matters, That's why it's never happened to the atheist, to the non-believer, or it happened to the believer. We suffer a lot, when we start prayer, the shaitan come and see, remember this, remember that, you have this matter, what you have eaten in the breakfast, what they are going to eat on lunch, and all of these matters. You got this point? Okay. So these 3 items, for the sake of the Prophet ﷺ, they were forgiven. Number 4. This is the Prophet ﷺ granted by it, during Mi'raj Sharif. We should highly appreciate the Prophet ﷺ, what he have done to us, Here during Mi'raj Sharif, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed him, whoever, is determined, to do hasana, is going to be counted as 1 hasana. When he do it, it's going to be counted 10 to 700 to many multiplication. Okay? Whoever determined to have sayyi'ah or sinful action, you have the 2 narration. I don't see them contradict with each other. And one, that nothing is going to be written. One, that he has going to be written as hasana if he did not do it. How do you combine them? When he quit doing it or did not do it, for the sake of Allah, is going to be rewarded by hasana. If it's because he forgot, or by chance or by whatever, this is not going to be written. This is my understanding. I may be wrong. Okay. Then you have azm. Azm, according to most of scholars, even for the sinful action we are going to be punished by, in my understanding, no. You have few scholars, they said no, you are not going to be punished, unless you start the action. In my heart, I lean, because I'm a bad person, bad practitioner, I lean forward to what have been mentioned by these few scholars. Imam An-Nawawi, he did say that majority of scholars, they said you are going to be punished. We have example of it, in the Syria. Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab, he want to have fun, spend time with the youth, in their gathering, He went there, no one. Then he went to a bar to drink wine. It was closed. And here he has the complete azima, but did not start the action. I look at this action as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala driving him to go and listen to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because when he has a bar closed, he did not have anyone, in the meeting or whatever. What did he do? He went to the yard of the Kaaba and hear the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying, recite the Quran. And he went under the clothes of Kaaba, went all the way in the darkness, no lights, in this time, and he faced the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see, this facing, I look at it as great, as if you have the sheltering, come from the Prophet ﷺ to this heart, all the time, which softened that heart. So, Why did I bring this story? Because I think Sayyidina Umar has the azima for these matters which did not take place. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the superior, has the intention or the purpose to drive him to go and listen to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so we see these items, why they are important, because as I said, we have been forgiven for the three first items, but for the sake of the Prophet ﷺ, as mentioned Sahih Muslim and elsewhere, we in the number 4 you have the difference between the good and bad one. Number 5 you have the controversy. Okay, so here what did he say? نفذت عزيمته. Okay, يعني he wants to pray Zuhr. He's not going to quit praying Zuhr, you know, because of this factor or that factor. نفذت عزيمته. He wants to fast. The doctor, non-Muslim doctor, tell him don't fast, you know, because he doesn't care a lot, you know. He did fast, you know. And I'm going to tell you this story, you know, which is strange, you know. My father-in-law, he got sick. Once, since I'm physician, you know, I forced him to break fast, you know, in Ramadan, because for his health. What did happen? His health went down. I was forced, you know, to tell him, please go back and fast. This happened to me. Yes. I don't have it as a story. This happened to me. Okay? I forced my father-in-law to break his fast. He doesn't want to break his fast at all. When I commanded this and forced him to do it, his health went down. And I was the person who said, please go back and fast. So here, what I'm trying to say, we said that this session is going to be for the spiritual matter. Muslim in general, they may be good nowadays, you know, in their practice, physical activity, but they are quite weak, you know, in the spiritual matter. When you build up your spirituality, you may have this the way my father-in-law had, but for sure you are going to be much better off. You are going to pray in much better quality. You are going to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala much more, and you name it. That's why I feel for myself and for the others, this is very important point, you know. You should look after it. The way, let me put it in this way, okay? The way I look at the mirror, you know, in the morning, that I'm going to give the talk, if there's any spot here or patch, you know, they should be ironed, they should be cleaned, they should be, I should move, yani, if there's any dirt, you know, on my forehead, or in the same pattern, we are going to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think it's too bad, you know, to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with ugly soul. Burn one. I give you this example, okay? As narrated in Darimi, 2 angels, they descended to the Prophet ﷺ. They started describing his holy heart, that it contains 2 eyes and 2 ears. If I have a heart, you know, without eyes or ears, what does it mean? I am blind and deaf. Just imagine if you have a person in this physical life, he is blind and deaf. Do you like to be like this? No, I don't like to be like this. Okay. This body is gone. It's going to vanish, you know, quickly, you know, after this. But the soul is going to last forever. And this is my imagination, I may be right or wrong. Those who did not have eyes or ears in their heart, they are going to be blind and deaf in the hereafter. And this is mentioned in the Quran. قال ربي لما حشرتني أعمى وقد كنت بصيرا. I used to be, have good sight, good gaze, in this life. How come, Ya Allah, you make me blind, in the hereafter? Because the soul, the heart was blind. Nothing changed. Okay? So that's why I encourage everyone, look after the spiritual item that's given to you, the way you, not the way. Look after your body, the way this body is going to last for you, which is few years or more less or whatever, and look after your soul, the way or the time is going to last for you, which is forever. Okay, this is the way. So here, what he mentioned, say the Imam An-Nawawi, وَمَنْ نَفَذَتْ عَزِيمَتُهُ دَامَتْ هِدَايَتُهُ. When he is quite determined, to fulfill all of those instructions given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether they are to do or not to do, okay? Or when you have hudud, as mentioned by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, دَامَتْ هِدَايَتُهُ. Okay, he's going to have what we call it istiqamah. Is going to have the continuity of guidance. One of the main problem, that I'm fearful of, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a possibility to take away my practice, namely in prayer, in fasting Ramadan, and reciting Quran, and take it away. Make me interested in something else. Those who have this azima that I have explained to you shortly, number 5, of the 5 items, those who have this continuity, of let's put it in this way, of ironing all his life, according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instruction, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to have continuity of his guidance. I'll give you an example about it. When we want to travel from one city to another, we are going to have the navigator. We are going to say, in this rest area, we are going to go down. We are going to have the lunch, in this rest area. We are going to have this, we are going to call our friend there, or whatever. Why we don't arrange for our prayer? We are going to pray Dhuhr time, in this rest area. We are going to pray Asr time in that rest area. We are going to make wudu here. We are going to have a bottle of water, with us, just in case anyone. You see, the way we take that significant care, of our body needs, physical needs, why we don't take the same care, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands, which much more important. I'm going to be practical with you. If I did not have a lunch, today, am I going to die? No. I'm going perhaps feel little bit stomach pain or headache, or may not feel. Whereas, if I miss the prayer, in its time, if I kept praying, the whole time till my death, it's not similar to that particular time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked me to pray. You got this point? Yani, for sure we are not asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pray for 1,000 years or whatever, as long as we are alive, okay? But when we miss such a prayer, Fajr time, if we miss it intentionally, and this is mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ for fasting, and I think prayer is the same. This is my thought, okay? He said, ﷺ, anyone who break fast, of one particular day without good excuse, even if he fasted the rest of his life, is not going to, not that it's, sorry, he said dahr, that means the whole time, not only his life. The whole time is not going to be equal to that missed day. Even though, to be honest with you, I see them all the same, but apparently they are not the same in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala standard. Okay, you have certain duty in certain time. You should do it. And that's why, if I return back to my example, why we don't arrange when we travel, to arrange all of those commands or instructions given to us, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way we arrange other things, I think no one is going to take the risk, not to have a fuel in his car, and there's no gas station, No one is going to take that risk, So why we take the risk, to, Yallah, Allahu Ghafurur Rahim. Yes, Allahu Ghafurur Rahim. But my friend, you have bad thoughts, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have real love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are going to have a different attitude of this. So that's why the Imam Nawawi, that they say, من نفذت عزيمته. يعني he's going to have good preparation, ready for all those commands and prohibitions given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's ready for, what's the reward of it? Which is too important reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to keep up his guidance all the time. We may start with very simple thing, very, very, very simple. What did the Prophet ﷺ say? استقيموا ولن تحصوا واعلموا أنه لا يحافظ على الوضوء إلا مؤمن. استقامة, استقيموا, be steadfast, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when تحصوا, you are incapable of doing it. Then he highlighted a factor that help you to make istiqamah, to have the continuity. What is it? To be in tahara state all the time. Which is, I think, too simple. Alhamdulillah. In old days, you used to have very cold water, cold weather. Nowadays, you have all of these matters. You have warm water. You have, it's not a problem. When you look at it. Okay. ومن عظم النعمة شكرها ومن شكرها استوجب المزيد. So, this is, I think, very important point. It starts from your side. When you magnify the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I said yesterday, the most thing, should be magnified in your heart, the favor of Islam. The favor of being follower of the Prophet ﷺ. I'm sorry to tell you, nowadays you have, I don't know the number, many Muslims, they don't feel the importance, of it. They don't estimate the value of it. Whereas, as Qadi Iyad mentioned in Kitab al-Shifa, in his book Shifa, not us, not our level, very, very high. Who are they? Sayyidina Ibrahim and Sayyidina Isa in the hereafter, according to Qadi Iyad. They will ask the Prophet to be one of his nation, of his community. When I look at it, who am I? What value I have? What stand I have? What? To have it, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I should really thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in very extraordinary days, about extraordinary way about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did tell us, start with this, they tell us to have this lesson, on us, every morning and evening. أصبحنا على فطرة الإسلام وكلمة الإخلاص وملة أبينا إبراهيم وسنة نبينا محمد عفوا وسنة نبينا محمد وملة أبينا إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان مشركين. In the evening we say أمسينا. Okay, perhaps it's better to be mentioned in Arabic, but you have the translation of it. يعني in this morning we are على الفطرة by nature. Okay, فطرة of Islam. Not all absolute nature, nature of Islam. And the word of belief, which is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I should remind myself, of this matter. And the millah or the religion, maybe one of the vocabulary of the religion of Sayyidina Ibrahim, because he was the first one to call us Muslimin, and Sunnatuna, the tradition, the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, and I look at it as very unique, very significant lesson, to make me understand the value of what I have been given from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then, when you bypass, this great or the greatest favor of Allah on you, then we have a lot of favors. All of us, we are healthy, okay? We are strong. We have a lot of food. We have, and you name it. You may know these matters, much more than me, okay? And you should be thankful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of these matters. When you are thankful, what did Imam Nawawi say? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to keep up the ni'mah on you. Well, that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. He told his wife, أحسني جوار نعم الله فإنه قلما نعمة تركت قوما ثم عادت إليهم. You are a neighbor. You are, it doesn't erupt from inside. The food did not come from inside. You are neighbor of the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether it is food, whether it's clothes or whatever, So you should be good neighbor of the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How I'm going to be? To highly appreciate, respect, The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used, when he used to eat, he's going to be in a state or position, as he said, I am a servant or slave to Allah. I sit the way of slave. I eat the way of slave. Just to show the importance, not because he loved food, and to fill his stomach, a lot, just to show the importance, of those food served, for him. When you highly appreciate those favors, or recognize them in this and their value, for sure you are going to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Sayyidah Aisha, and then the second component of that particular hadith, which I started to translate, then I forgot, Ahsin jiwara ni'amillah, the Prophet, the second component, gave it as a warning sign. You hardly find any favor departed from any person and returned back. You hardly find anything, any favor, departed and returned back. And what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Quran? ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَكُنْ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً أَنْعَمَهَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to change the favor till these people, they change something, inside themselves. Okay, we'll have a break now. Sorry, I kept you for a long time. Have break for 15 minutes. Okay, if you need more, whatever. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.